Good morning, community, and happy Monday. So, for those of you new to who I am and this channel, this is the Flow Frequency Collective, and this is a collective for women leaders and entrepreneurs who want to design sacred lives in flow. One of the main tools that we use in this channel is the Flow Roadmap, which gives you an overview, an energetic overview of your year. It's unique and customized to you, shares with you the energy that is working through you this year, working for you. Sometimes it feels like it's working against you, it's just helping you to evolve. And it also shares with you the best way to go through a flow that feels good month to month based on your energies. It also reminds you of who you are and what you're meant to do in this lifetime. In addition to that, we use ancient wisdom made practical so that we're in touch with our souls, but also making things happen in the world. And so Mondays is all about tuning into the guidance from the stars, astrology, and also from spirit, from our soul, which is tarot. So I'm going to get started right now with the tarot messages for the week. What I always like to do is take a little sip of tea. Join me in taking a deep breath just to get grounded. Let's do that together. And from that grounded place in your heart, let it tell you whether you want message number one or message number two. So I'm going to give it one more shuffle here. And we're going to pull two cards for each message. Okay. So message number one. What is the guidance this week for our amazing women in this collective and any of you who are just watching today? Okay, we've got our first one, and you're always welcome. All right, we got our second one. And now, yep, there's number two, message number two. Let's get another one. Okay, perfect. All right, so for those of you who chose message number one, first card out is the Four of Swords. Okay. Love it that we have the little lamb. Happy Easter to those of you who celebrate Easter. That was yesterday. And we also have the Fool. Whoops, lost my card. All right, we've got the Fool. We've got the lamb and a chickie. Gosh. And I'm matching in yellow. The Easter and spring vibes are on. What a great combination. This combination says to me this week, for those of you who chose it, really tune in. Okay, let's start with this. The little lamb and the Four of Swords wants you to connect with yourself. Okay, this is a great card for reflection, for meditation, for really tuning into your heart and your soul. And you're going to love this because the astrology really mirrors this. Okay, so how can you slow down enough? Give yourself time. Go within, feel into your desires, your soul's desires, not so much your mind, but your soul, so that you can take a little leap this week, okay? Because we are wanting to make some leaps, right? Leap forward into your future and you in a way that's going to move you forward. For some of you, you are going to experience a new beginning. It doesn't have to be a humongous beginning. It could be one step forward toward a new beginning, okay? But something wants to come forward. For those of you, a new start, a new fresh start, a new beginning, a new idea, right? And you want to put energy behind it, but you want to make sure that you're reflecting enough to understand that it's the right way to go, that you're not making reactive choices, because this week we could be impulsive and reactive and jump into things that maybe are not the best for us, but maybe they are the best for you if you just sit and connect. Okay. So that's the message for those of you who chose message number one. For those of you who chose message number two, it's also about new beginnings and inspiration and tapping into the right one. It's just in a different way. The Ace of Pentacles for me is almost like a gift from the universe, a gift from God, a gift from spirit, however you want to describe that. Okay. That will create groundedness for us, right? Something we can build on, a nice solid foundation, but it doesn't necessarily come from what we've already been doing. It's something else that is put in front of us or even put in our mind or in our hearts. Okay. So again, pay attention to what wants to be born, what wants to be seeded. And that's a good, a way to identify what to work on this week. Okay. Now, you may be in a really creative state. The astrology is making this happen. And so you're like, I've got all of these ideas. I've got these 7 ideas here. Which is the one, right? So some of you may be feeling a little bit scattered because you've got so much that you want to launch or ideate or, put out into the world. But these two cards together are saying one step at a time, one idea at a time, and be grounded, right? This is earth energy, the pentacles. So you want to do things slow, methodically, and in the right order. Okay. So let me know in the comments below if these resonated with you. Okay. I'm definitely launching something new this week. If you're on Instagram following me, you'll see what that is, but I'll also be talking about it here on Substack. So let me know again if those messages resonate. Many of you like will reach out during the week and say, "Oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened. You were right on, and this is what I picked." And I love those messages. I love hearing how you're remaining reflective and intuitive, tapping into that intuition during the week and really paying attention, right? It doesn't make much sense to show up and gather, tune into this energy if you're not going to pay attention to it throughout the week, right? This is about being intentional. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about the astrology. So what day is today? Today is the 6th, right? So in 2 days, the moon is going to enter Capricorn, okay? And Capricorn is a very grounded energy. It is all about business. It's about moving things forward, being logical, being responsible, making things happen, getting those roots of whatever it is that you're building deep into the earth so it could produce, so it could harvest for you. Okay, so that's the moon on the 8th. At the end of the week, on the 10th, the moon then moves into Aquarius, and that energy is going to shift a little bit. Also on the 8th, the moon is creating a positive aspect to Uranus all week long. Okay. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what all this energy means. But just for those of you who like to capture the data, Mars is sextiling Uranus all week. Uranus is on the edge. It's at 29 degrees, okay, of Taurus. It's been in Taurus for a long time, dipped into Gemini briefly and then went back into Taurus. But it is almost out of Taurus completely and is going to start a whole new phase for all of us in Gemini. So it is really eager to get out of Taurus and into Gemini because in Taurus it's way too grounded, way too secure, way too responsible, and it just doesn't, Uranus doesn't like to be that way. It likes to be edgy and creative and just launching into the future without much thought, okay? So it wants to get out of the grounded energy of Taurus. So Mars together with Uranus, oh my gosh, powerful energy. I'm going to talk about it in just a second. On the 9th, Mars moves into Aries where it belongs, right? Mars rules Aries, so it's in its home. It's going to feel energized, motivated, ready to start a fire, okay? The beautiful thing is that we have so many planets in Aries, right? We've got the sun in Aries. It's Aries season. Happy birthday to all the Aries out there. We've got Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and now we're going to have Mars in Aries. 4 planets in Aries. That's a lot of energizing, motivating, even anxious energy that's going to be coursing through all of us, all of our bodies, and all of our systems. Okay. But Mars is going to enter Aries on the 9th, and it's going to create a conjunction, right? It's going to be right next to Neptune, right? So what does that mean? We'll talk about it in a minute. And then on the 10th, it's the third quarter moon, which essentially means that the moon and the sun are squared, right? So it's a little bit of tension. So later on at the end of the week, when that happens, you just want to make sure that you are aligning your heart with your mind. Okay. The sun can be very, especially in Aries, very egotistical, very like, get out of my way. This is what I want to do. But the heart is all about, but wait, is that the right choice? Is that really what I want to do? How do I want to feel? So you want to work on really merging the sun's energy with the moon's energy to make the very best decisions in your life and in your business. All right. So this week, with all of this Mars and your Uranian energy with the moon going into Aquarius at the end of the week, but it's now going to be in Capricorn, safe and secure. Our soul really this week is seeking safety, security, responsibility. But Mars creating that positive aspect with Uranus and jumping into Aries, it really wants action. It wants newness. Okay. Together, they both want freedom and excitement and growth. Okay. They want to move things forward into the future and not worry about safety, security, all of that stuff. So there is a balance that needs to happen this week so you don't drive yourself crazy. Work your body, exercise. Mars energy is going to serve you if you move the energy through your body and not allow it to get stuck. Okay? In your mind or in your tummy, right? Capricorn loves to eat. So, move energy through your body so that it gets from your mind to your heart to your dantian and you're in alignment. So try to find a balance of both of these energies, right? Give yourself the space to work on something that brings you a sense of responsibility, right? Like I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing this for me, for my business, for my future. You want to feel like you're doing a job well done, okay? But you also want it to give you that feeling that you're shaking things up, okay? Being willing to take a risk, but it's a measured risk. Capricorn's going to like that a little bit better, okay? This week is going to give you a boost of energy and purpose. Did I just like my own video? I sure did. That's funny. Maybe that's spirit telling me, right on. So, yeah, this boost of energy and purpose is gonna, launch you into the week really nicely. Um, you're going to want to feel like you want to move something towards success. Okay. So it's a good week to work on your goals, but with practicality, with logic, with responsibility. Now, Mars linking up with Neptune in Aries gives this motivating, active energy a bit more purpose, soulfulness, spirituality, and creativity, right? So this is a good time to dream big. With Mars and Neptune, allow your dreams to flow. Give yourself space to tap into what those dreams are before you take action, right? Let it land in your heart and your soul. And work on something this week that really inspires you and that taps into that innovation, into that creativity. Or maybe just take a time out and go do something fun and creative, right? Like go paint or go do a 5K or something else that you've been wanting to do that's creative. Okay. It's a good week for that. And with Neptune activated by Mars this week, listen to the impulses of your intuition before you take action. Again, Mars and Uranus want to get into action fast. Neptune is going to want to make sure that it's aligned with your soul. So pay attention to that. The last thing I want to say about these three energies together, Mars, Uranus, and Neptune, is that it could lead you into the world of fantasy, okay? Where your idea, you believe, is like the best idea in the world. There's no way it's going to fail, you know, in that dreamy kind of state where it's a Pollyanna type of energy, right? And that's all fine and dandy, but make sure that you're also paying attention to what's real, okay? And that's what this week is really asking of us, the balance of what's real and what isn't, the dream and the logic, but all of it wants us to move forward. Okay, so tap into your intuition, find those moments of peace so you can find that clarity, and then go for it. Go for it. So let me know below what you go for. Enjoy this week. And for those of you who are paid subscribers, founding members, I've got more videos coming for you. We had an incredible workshop last week for our founding members. If you're a founding member and didn't tune in, check it out. We're diving deep into the five elements and into your flow roadmap. For those of you who really want to live aligned and manage your energy in a way that suits you and what life wants to bring you, where life wants to take you, I hope that you will consider joining our collective as a founding member. With that membership, you get your customized flow roadmap, and we're going to be able to work more closely together and really dive into the wisdom of flow. Have a beautiful week ahead. Take care.